Hey guys, Blades of God here from Hammer Bros Gaming. Today we've got a little bit of a different achievement guide for you. We're going to be showing you how to get each weapon-specific achievement in the original Dead Space. We'll be showing you how to use the weapons, what the achievements are, and when they unlock. First up, we have the Plasma Cutter and the Tool Time achievement. Now this is the weapon you get at the very beginning of the game, so this should come pretty naturally to you. The Plasma Cutter has its standard mode of fire, which is horizontal, and then its alternate mode is, or its alt fire turns the alignment to be vertical, which is useful depending upon what kind of limb you're trying to cut off. It boasts moderate stopping power when you make contact with an enemy, and pretty good firepower. The rate of fire is a little bit slow, but it's an all-around solid weapon for any enemy in the game. Up next, we have the Line Gun and the Eviscerator achievement. When I think of the Line Gun, I think giant plasma cutter. It has a very, very wide range. It takes up a lot of the screen when you fire a shot. The ammo is hard to come by and is it's very expensive to buy in the store, but this is one of the most powerful guns per shot in the game. It can take out multiple enemy limbs in one shot and is great at clearing rooms. Aim low to take out the legs and slow down your enemies, and you have a great way to buy yourself some time. Up next, we have the Flamethrower and the Living with the Hot Ones achievement. The Flamethrower is probably my least favorite weapon in the original Dead Space, not because there's anything wrong with it, just because it feels like it lacks damage output. The weapon doesn't focus on... You can't focus on specific limbs of the enemies. It focuses on damaging the entire body at once. So, as you know, the whole premise of Dead Space is to cut limbs, and without the ability to cut limbs, well, it just feels like you're literally barbecuing them, which is great, but not very effective. The alt fire for this just shoots out a burst of flame, so it's a little more fuel efficient, but not very practical in my opinion, because it just still doesn't do enough damage. One way to work your way around this is to use another gun to weaken your opponent, and then finish it with the flamethrower. This will still count even if you use another gun to do the damage towards your 30 kill total. As a fun side fact, if you're in a vacuum area like outside or in space, the flamethrower will not work because there's no oxygen. Next on the list is the Ripper and the A Cut Above achievement. The Ripper is basically a power saw tethered to a tractor beam, and its standard fire just holds the blade spinning out in front of you for a duration of time, and you can use it on multiple enemies at once. It's an excellent room clearer, and it buys you a lot of time without using up a lot of ammo. The damage output is great, and seeing as how it's a saw, it does an excellent job at cutting limbs. The alt fire will fire a blade out in a straight line and cut through multiple enemies. Again, the damage output for the alt fire is really good, and this is probably one of my favorite, at least probably my top 3 weapons, behind the plasma cutter and the pulse rifle. There's not much else to say about this gun other than go nuts, because it holds back the enemies really well, and like I said, it deals out a ton of damage. Up next is the Force Gun and the Pusher achievement. The force gun can take some getting used to. The primary purpose of the force gun is to, well, push enemies around, as the achievement name indicates. What you want to do is make sure you have your enemy up against a wall or the floor, because if you have them out in the open, all this gun's going to do is do minimal damage and just push them backwards. If they're up against the floor and you can aim down, it will blow them to pieces. But like I said, it's a very, very touchy weapon to use effectively. I don't mind this gun because it does have an okay range and it is great when you're surrounded to buy yourself a little bit of time and space. But there are more efficient weapons when it comes to trying to deal out damage per ammo used. Also, fun fact, these, I call them Slendermen, are apparently impervious to the force gun and will just continue to chew up your ammo, so do not use the force gun on them. Next up, we have the Contact Beam and the Full Contact achievement. The Full Contact achievement is to get 30 kills with the Contact Beam, just like every other achievement. Now this thing is a powerhouse. It has the highest damage output per unit of ammo used. It does require a charge, so it's not a rapid fire weapon, and the charge duration isn't terribly long. But as you can see me using it here in an elevator, this is not the ideal place to be using it because it does take a moment to get a shot off. But if you contact an enemy with this gun, it's almost a guaranteed kill unless it's a boss. It rips apart enemies. And there's not a whole lot else to say about this gun other than it's expensive to use because the ammo is pricey and it's sparse in the environment. But you're not going to beat it for value per shot. Up next is the often underrated and underappreciated pulse rifle and the auto-fire achievement. This is basically an assault rifle, so most players of the survival horror game genre, and Dead Space in particular, don't tend to care for it because it doesn't feel very survival horror-y when you can have a assault rifle in your inventory. But this gun, when you upgrade the damage and the capacity and the rate of fire, can really, really be an effective weapon at picking apart the necromorphs. Taking short controlled shots, using short controlled bursts, and aiming for the limbs does an excellent job picking apart these necromorphs, and because of its high capacity, you don't have to reload, so you can keep putting down a steady stream of fire. Also, the ammo is incredibly cheap. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe. You can also check us out on Twitch at Hammer Bros Gaming. I am Blades of God, and until next time, have a great day, everyone.